Hello. Hello and welcome again to Excelsior Trading. I'm your host, Don Carlo, here in the beautiful, cold Berkshire Mountains. Yes, I'm bringing you another watch review. This kind of ties in with my last watch review for the Lordmatic, which has the 5206 movement. This is the Seiko Laurel. Seiko Laurel. Nice upside down shot for you. Ha ha ha. Upside down. Don't worry. I'm going to take it off the wrist and show it to you. We're going to get in a little more details about this watch and its horological significance to Seiko. So, yeah, I was telling you about my Lordmatic that came in, and this one just arrived just literally about a day ago. Anyone that can buy one of these, I say buy them up. I mean, they're selling between about 1,000 and 1,500, but they're such a horological piece of Seiko history, it's not even funny. So this has one of the first 4S movements, and I looked up the date on the case back, and the date of this watch is December of 1995. It says the movement first came out in 94. But this is still a pretty early iteration of it to come out in 1995, December. So yeah, let's give you a close-up shot of this so you can get a look at this. This is the Seiko Laurel, and it's a 4S28-5010, and LJAK600 is the model number. I think these were JDM only. I think they were really Japanese only. And very rare on a Seiko. I don't know of another Seiko, but the case is completely made out of sterling silver. All of the case is thick sterling silver, and then it's got an 18 karat solid gold bezel. I mean, it's very thick, solid 18 karat gold bezel. So I've not really found a two-tone precious metal Seiko watch before, and I think it was the Houses movement, the reiteration of the 5206, which is hacking, hand winding, all that nonsense. 28,000 high beat movement. It's just gorgeous. And I've been running this today. I wore it a little bit today. And this model only has the hour, minute, and a sub-dial second hand. And it's just so well done. And the second hand moves so smoothly. You can barely see it moving, but it's sweeping perfectly at a high beat motion. So yeah, I'd have to say this is actually my second luxury watch I've ever owned. It comes on a leather strap. This is an original. The original strap that came with it had a sticker on it, but I tore it off because I decided to start wearing it. Some watches I collect, I don't wear them on their original strap, but with this one I decide, let's go for it. What are we gonna kill in value? And it comes with a very premium, comfortable leather strap with like a suede back and a crocodile alligator alligator simulated surface, but grain. That's what I was looking for. Grain, alligator grain, crocodile grain, whatever you want to call it. It's bovine, it's cow leather, but it's made in Italy. Let's see what it says here. If I can read it. Yeah, yeah. Good luck on reading Italian. Let me get the loop out. Yeah, so it says Moreletto genuine leather on one strap. And on the other it says vintage and Fetto a mano, which is made by man, 18 to 16. 18 to 16 is basically describing that this watch starts out at an 18 millimeter at the lug and tapers down to a 16 millimeter by the end, by the clasp. So yeah, real special watch here. Like I said, the Seiko Laurel. Just I've I don't know of another Seiko watch that's housed in a sterling silver case, pure sterling silver case with an 18 karat solid gold bezel. And this was their reintroduction. This was their reintroduction watch into the automatic movements, the mechanical movements. You know, they stopped in the 70s, right about the year 1980. They stopped with mechanical and they just laid in on that quartz movement that they're famous for, since they were the ones that brought quartz movement to the market. And up until 1994, they laid off of mechanical watches. And when they decided they wanted to get back into mechanical watches, they selected one family of movements out of all their movements historically to go back into. And that was the 5200 series of movement, just like my Seiko Lordmatic. And this has the 4S movement, 4S28 in this watch. And it's really a luxury watch. I'm going to throw it back on the wrist here. You know, it rides really nice on the wrist. Let's get it looped up, souped up. Let's get it going. Let's rock it. See, I take it to the third hole from the last, push it in the keepers. There we go. So yeah, it sits really nice on the wrist. It's kind of on the smaller side. Like I said, in the world of 40 millimeter watches, this is still a bit small. I mean, it's definitely a dress watch. I mean, it only has the minute and hour hand and then a sub dial for the seconds. It has no other features, doesn't even tell you the date. But so far, it's keeping time really accurately, which I'd expect out of a 90s watch that's, you know, not been worn that much. You know, I'd expect that. 4S28 movement. I mean, it's just a hell of a movement. I got a hell of a good deal on this. Like I said, I see these sell on the secondary gray market for between $1,000 and $1,500 all day long. I ain't gonna lie, I got this for 800 bucks. 800 and change shipped. I mean, and at that, I felt it was a steal to add this to the collection, to add a horological Seiko piece to the movement. Such a fine dress watch. Um, Now I'm going to go into the part of the video that's fun. So I've ordered watches from Japan and Hong Kong and Europe. Never have I gotten smacked by customs. So customs froze the shipment of this in Tennessee about 2 days ago. And they started arguing that they wanted to know what my watch was. What they wanted the form filled out and submitted about what this watch is. I don't know. I might still get a bill in the mail for some custom taxes on this watch. I haven't. The watch arrived. I haven't received the bill, but you know, I bought it off of just a random guy from Japan on eBay. He doesn't speak English. He doesn't, you know, probably didn't even read the email from our customs. So I responded. I'm like, what do I have to fill out to get my watch delivered? It was about a day away. It's sitting in Tennessee. I'm in Maryland. And the customs agent sent me this form to fill out, so I filled it out. See? Right there. And it asks all the information about the watch and assigning values. Now, customs is so stupid. To come up with the sum of a watch, they want to know what the cost of the movement is, the case, the strap, and the battery. Now, clearly there's no battery here, so 0. But here's the thing. When customs sends you a bill on a watch, they tax the case the highest. So even if you had a solid gold case worth thousands and thousands of dollars, if you mark that on the form as the highest part of the total value, they're going to tax you on that. They're going to tax you for hundreds of dollars on that watch. I tried to be, I really tried to be honest in this form. If you look, I assigned it a $20 value for the leather Italian strap, vintage, never worn. All right, I mean, maybe the strap's worth 40 or 50 in all reality, but $20 for a good leather strap. And then I assigned it, let's see, I assigned it $150 for the case. I gave it 150 of what I paid for it for the case. And I think that was a fair, accurate description in this. Although, like I said, if you're buying a solid gold watch and you get hit by one of these custom forms, you better move some of that money into the fucking movement. Excuse my French. Into the movement price. Because they tax you at a way higher percentage for the case than they do the movement. 150 bucks I said this case was worth. And like I said, I was ballparking. I was just trying to fill this form out so they got my damn watch to ship to me in the goddamn mail. And yeah, so solid, heavy sterling silver case. I'm thinking, yeah, what I put down? 150. I'm thinking like 20 bucks worth of silver. I mean, silver is about 23 an ounce or whatever. It might be an ounce. So I'm thinking like 20 bucks of silver. But that solid gold, thick bezel. I mean, it's thick. You can see how thick that solid gold bezel is. Gold's up there. Gold's about 2 grand an ounce. So I was trying to be honest. I wanted to be fair. I'm thinking of like a gold ring made of 18 karat gold. About the width and thickness of this bezel. 130 bucks. I think 130 bucks is a fair price. So, like I said, for the case, I gave it $150. 20 bucks for the silver, 130 for the gold. And the movement, when I initially sent this custom agent an email, he didn't send me this form. I just sent him an email with the specifications. I initially said the movement was worth like $100, but then he sent me, oh, you have to match the price you paid for, and this and that. And in the end, I paid $845.88. That's what I paid for this Laurel Seiko. And so, yeah, he made me fill out this form and take a picture and send it back to him. Filled out. So I just dumped all the rest of the amount I spent on this watch into the movement. Now, clearly, a 4S movement is not $675.88 right up here. But that's what they do on these stupid goddamn forms. I mean, customs doesn't understand. Sometimes people pay hundreds or thousands of more dollars for a watch just based on the dial color. The money's not in the case. The money is not in the strap. The money's not in the battery. And at the end of the day, the money is not even in the movement. It's not in the movement. But I'll tell you, if you're going to get charged with taxes, and this is what everyone is doing importing watches, they give a relatively accurate case value, strap value, battery value, and whatever's left on whatever they're trying to import from Switzerland or wherever in the world, they just dump it into the movement. And the movement has the lowest tax bracket. It's not even a whole percent, it's like a fraction of a percent. If I dump that quantity of money into the case, being silver and gold, Jesus Christ, it's like 8%. It's ridiculous. It's a crazy amount of tax. This watch probably would have cost me $100 or more to pay in custom fees. But this whole form is just stupid, and they make you fill it out. They want to know how many jewels, mechanical, what features it has, what country the movement was made in. I mean, God, it's just so friggin' lame. It's so lame. And like I said, I've been collecting watches for 6 years, and I've never ran into this where a watch coming in from overseas got caught by customs, and they're like, we want to know more information about your watch. Like I said, I might get a bill in the mail, because when you import watches from overseas, you're supposed to pay a custom fee. Based on this information at the bottom I gave them about the value, they might assign a tax. They might calculate how much I owe them in taxes. 8 or 10% of the $150, and less than a fraction of a percent for the 675.88 for the movement. I'm just saying, this this was lame. And I will be surprised after I filled this out and sent a photo of it to the customs agent. He did get my watch to me in less than 24 hours. It showed up the next day. I think they felt bad that customs held it up by FedEx for about 2 days. So yeah, I had to wait another 2 days. I had to fill out that form and send them a photo of it on my phone. I took a picture and shot it off to them in email. But the moral of the story is be honest. Try and explain the cost in the case and the strap if it's leather. Some other pitfalls you might want to avoid is, I was reading up online, and when customs snags you, you got to be careful about certain straps. I mean, if it's made out of shark skin or ray watch straps are very popular. The aquatic animal, the ray. Certain animals, an alligator. This is a crocodile grain, which just means it's a cow. It's bovine. It's cow leather that's been made to look kind of alligatorish. But actual alligator straps, those are on the radar of the United States government. If you don't declare it properly and have your proper paperwork, you can be fined hundreds of dollars by animal control, blah blah blah, whatever. 6 years I've been collecting watches. I've had watches shipped to me from Japan, Hong Kong, United Kingdom, all over the world. I've had watches shipped, plus all over the United States. Never have I ran into this issue. I know I'm looking so sexy in my house robe again. I know you're happy to see me in my house robe, but never have I ran into this fucking customs situation where United States Custom held up my shipment from arriving to my door, and I had to fill out a form. They preferably wanted the seller to fill out the form, but like I said, the man is sitting in Japan. I bought off a guy in eBay that's Japanese. He doesn't speak any fucking English. He ain't awake during the hours of their business. He probably didn't even read their stupid email. I would have never got this watch. So I reached out to FedEx and I was like, hey, I'm waiting on my watch. It hasn't moved in 2 days. I bought off a guy in Japan. What do you need to know? And they hooked me up with my customs agent, and he told me the form he wanted me to fill out, this form. And he said, just take a picture of it, send it back to me after you fill it out. And as soon as I did that, he had the watch to my door in 24 hours. I haven't received a customs bill yet. When you buy a watch, it's a luxury item overseas. You're supposed to pay custom taxes based off the value. I don't know. I think if a bill shows up in the mail, I'll pay it, but it'll probably be less than $100. But that's only because and I've read online, other people do this too. They give a fair evaluation of the case materials, 20, 50, whatever. I went a little high. I said $150 because this case on this luxury watch is solid sterling silver with an 18 solid karat gold bezel. I went $150. I mean, but you got a steel Rolex or something. You can easily put it at 20 or $30. I mean, tops $20 for steel. And it came on a leather Italian strap. I've seen leather Italian straps go for $20. I mean, sometimes really nice ones, Collareb or whatever, go for $50, $60, $70. And this one is pretty quality, but I was trying to save myself on taxes if I get nailed in the end. So I mean, $20. $20 for the strap, $150 for the case. And literally everything else I spent on the watch, which I spent $845.88 on this. I just dropped it all into the goddamn movement. I'm like, well, yeah, the movement's worth $675.80. I'm gonna tell you right now, there's very few movements on this planet worth $675.88. this whole experience left me feeling so asinine. Like, why can't you just explain that I wanted it because it's a vintage Seiko with a neat movement? It's collectability value. Have that bracket. Why do I have to dump the remaining value of the watch into the movement just as a par for the course? Just what you're supposed to do. This movement, the 4S is not worth $675.88. That's just stupid. It's insanely stupid. But this is the form that made me fill it out. I had to take a picture and send it to the custom agents, and a day later, my FedEx watch arrived from Japan. So I've got it. I've got a very rare watch. I don't ever see them sell for under 1,000. The only problem with my watch, and it came on a new strap with the Italian stickers still attached to it. The watch strap had never been worn. I don't know if this is a display model or what, and you're not going to really pick it up in this video, but the Hardlex case definitely has scratches. There's some really deep scratches. At some point when I send this watch in to be serviced, I'm going to try and get some of those scratches removed. I mean, because of the rectangular shape, I don't think I can ever replace the crystal. I mean, it'd be so hard to get a replacement for this unique watch. But I would love to get some of the scratches buffed out or at least minimized because I take good care of my watches. But yeah, this watch, it's just so beautiful. It sits really well on the watch, on the wrist, on the watch, on the wrist. You know, it's a little on the small side, just like I said in the last video. As far as dress watches, I mean, dress watches ride small. I have a 6.5-inch wrist, and it doesn't fill up the wrist. I mean, most watches, I'm right around the 40 millimeter. This is probably riding the mid 30s, 36, 38, whatever. Not a 40 millimeter watch. I mean, it looks good, but it looks good though. It's very robust. It's thick, but not too thick. It slides under the cuff. It's got this Italian leather strap, alligator grain, which is going to take some time to break in. But, I think a lot of times when I buy watches, since I look at the future about reselling a watch, a lot of watches, I don't wear them on their original strap. I always tear their strap off and put it on a NATO or put it on a leather or some strap of my choosing. But this one, I'm just letting it ride. I'm just like, fuck it. 2 times I cussed in the same video. Yeah, I'm just like, to hell with it. Let it ride. I'm just wearing it on its Italian leather strap that it came on. There's a beautiful grain to it. Very satiny on the inside against the wrist. And it rides well. It's a little stiff, but it's brand new leather. It's brand new. You know, it's going to take some time to break in, you know? And I'll show you again the underside. It's a very soft, velvety leather. See if I can get that in the focus there. You still probably will not make out the words. Well, you can make out the vintage and made by man. The Fatto a Mano, made by man in Italian. And the 18 millimeter down to 16. But on the other side, where it shows the name of the company, I don't think you're really going to get that. You're not, it's as close as I can get. It's pretty clear, but you're just not going to get it. Not unless I get a better camera that's not so grainy. Even without my glasses, I'm trying to look at this. Moreletto, Morellato. Moreletto genuine leather. So yeah, that is my Seiko Laurel. My second luxury watch I've ever owned. I mean, I didn't intend to own a second luxury watch. My Tudor Royal was my first foray into the luxury watches, which luxury watches I consider around $1,000 plus. But I mean, this watch really fits the bill as a luxury watch, and it's got a lot of Seiko horological history rolled into it. I mean, it's got their first 4S movement when they got back into mechanical movements in the 90s. And I was actually surprised at the early date because I seen that they were making these in 96 through 98. I was surprised. This is such an early one. Where's my paper with the notes? Yeah, December 95. December 1995. I was 15 years old. I was 15 years old when they made this watch. So that's kind of neat. You know, December 95. They're just getting back into watchmaking. That's kind of cool. Yeah. You know, with my Seiko Lordmatic, I really recommended every Seiko fanboy in the world go out and grab a 5200, whether it be the 5206, like my Lordmatic, or whether it's a 5216, which I'm pretty sure is the number of the slightly better movement right before they quit making movements. But grab some mechanical watch from the 70s with the 5200 series movement because, like I said, after 70s they quit making mechanical movements until the 90s. They just stopped and went quartz all the way. And then they said, people are starting to get into mechanical movements again. And out of all the mechanical movements, and they had a lot of them they created before 1980, they selected the 5200 family, you know, like the 5206 that I reviewed on my Lordmatic, or the 5216. That's what they based this movement off of. They rebuilt that movement and called it the 4S. And that was their first dive back into mechanical watches. So I have the 5206, the model they decided to go to redesign it. And it's funny that they're both kind of square. You know, like I said, I went with square for the 5206 Lordmatic just because it was very retro. It was the style of the 70s, a perfect square on the mesh steel bracelet. This one I selected, this shape and everything, just because it's the only one that exists. I mean, in my comments below, if you know of another solid sterling silver case, thick sterling silver with a solid 18 karat gold bezel, let me know in the comments. You know, as a watch collector, this just was reached out and grabbed me. It was like, get one, you know? It's a very horological movement, and it was like, buy it. I mean, at 800 and change, you know, I don't remember what my final sales price was, you know, 800, low 800s after taxes. It all rolled out to that total I told you, you know, 860 whatever. And it led me to my first experience of having to deal with US Customs. How much did that watch cost you? You know, they wouldn't deliver the goddamn watch until I filled out that form and sent them a picture of it filled out with how much the movement's worth, how many jewels, what country it was made in. And honestly, I just think the whole process is so stupid because even being as I try to be honest. I was honest as the day is long. I told them what I really feel the case is worth. You know, honestly, and I'm not lying. I think it's about $20 worth of silver. On the best day, $130 worth of gold. $150 case. Then you ask about the leather strap. How much can you get a leather strap for? You can get a leather strap for $20 on eBay, especially vintage leather, Italian straps or whatever. I said, yeah, leather straps. I mean, they can get up there. You can pay 50, 80, you know, $90, somewhere just below 100. But $20 for the strap, whatever. And it's not an exotic material that animal control boards are going to come after. It's not true alligator. It's not ostrich or ray or shark skin. So yeah, then you got, you know, you have to put in the factor of the cost of the strap. And if it's a mechanical movement like this, you don't get to add any value to how much a battery costs. Not that a battery for any watch, even a lithium or rechargeable whatever, is going to cost more than, what, 20, $30. So yeah, you're buying a watch that's $800. You just have to dump the remaining value into the movement. And I know for a fact a 4S movement, if you could find somebody just selling the 4S movement out of the watch, it's not going to cost $800. I mean, a couple hundred, maybe, 200. What? They don't leave you an honest option for just saying, people want this watch. It's worth $1,500 because Seiko fanboys will pay that for this watch that came out in the 90s. You know? It's kind of stupid that US Customs, it's kind of stupid. But I've read other videos out there that say if you run into this custom scenario, dump all the value into the movement because the movement's only calculated towards what you owe at a fraction of a percent. So, you put $1,000, you owe like $10 on the movement. You put $1,000 into the case because it's precious metals or something, and you owe $80 to $100. So, $10 versus $80. Yeah, it just says dump the remaining value into the movement. Just say the movement costs that much and call it a day and close up the deal. And I did go that route, but I felt really weird about doing that because the movement, like I said, the 4S movement is not an $800 movement. 600, whatever the hell I said on the form, just so my watch would arrive in the mail. It doesn't cost that much. It's just stupid. I wish they'd have, the movement value, the case value, the strap value, the battery value, whatever the fuck they even include. There's my third cuss. This video will never be monetized because Don in his sexy robe cussed 3 times. Yeah, those 4 categories do not add up to what a watch is worth. Sometimes a watch is limited release. Sometimes it's worth money just because there's not many of them out there. People are paying crazy money for blue dials. Just because it's got a blue dial. Woo! Take $500. I'm just saying. They should, and I'm a coin collector. In the coin world, we have the face value of something, the value of its components, but then we have the numismatic value, the collector's value. And I think in the watch world, even involving customs, they should come up with an understanding that sometimes a watch is collectible just because, hey, supply and demand. People want it. People want the watch. What its collector's value escalates it to. So yeah, that's where I'm at with this. I spent under $1,000. I think I walked away with a steal. And as soon as I send this watch in for servicing someday and get the scratches buffed off the crystal, I think it'll be a real breadwinner as far as looks. I mean, I still love the way it looks. This is going to be my weekender watch because it's just got hour, minute hand, and sub-dial second hand running on a high beat movement. I'll wear this all day long around the house or running errands around town. But yeah, at some point, I'll have to send it in for servicing, and at that point, I'll ask them to get out as many scratches out of the Hardlex crystal. Don't even get me into it. We're already running 30 minutes in this video. Don't get me into Hardlex crystal. I hate Hardlex. Acrylic and sapphire. Acrylic and sapphire. Those are the only 2 crystals I care about in a watch. And I'll tell you why. The sapphire, bulletproof. I worked in security. I rubbed my sapphire crystals against concrete, against steel, door frames, and guardrails on staircases. Never put a mark in a sapphire crystal. I've scratched the steel bezels around the crystal. Plenty of scratches on the steel. Not one hairline mark, not one microscopic mark on the sapphire. Because it's a sapphire. You literally have to be attacked by a woman wearing diamond rings or something to scratch your sapphire crystal. You're never going to put a mark on a sapphire crystal watch. I have like 10 sapphire crystal watches. None of them have a mark. And acrylic is way soft. It's plastic. let me say fuck again. It's fucking plastic. And they pick up scratches if you sneeze on them the wrong way. The wrong breeze crossing by will scratch the surface of your acrylic, which acrylic honestly looks the best. Everyone agrees in the watch community, acrylic looks the most vintage best. But a Cape Cod cloth, you just take it, rub it on the crystal for 10 seconds, it's crystal clear again. You can repair it at home with a Cape Cod cloth that costs less than $10 and is reusable. Just rub it off for 10 seconds. You can see through the crystal clear again. And you can even buff up your rings and jewelry, anything else you want to with the Cape Cod cloth. You can reuse it 100, 1,000 times before it's, spent. So yeah, acrylic and sapphire. That's the only two watch crystals that should exist in this world today. Sapphire for bulletproof, acrylic for good looks and easy to fix it at home. But this hard licks and mineral crystal and all that, it's garbage. It's garbage. It's going to pick up scratches. It's garbage. That's my one knock against the Seiko Laurel watch here, is that it has a hard licks crystal or a mineral crystal of the day, and it has scratches on it. It came with buying a vintage used watch. I don't even know how I picked up the scratches because God knows whoever the original wearer was, they didn't wear it on the leather strap. The leather strap was brand new, didn't have a crease in it, and it still had the sticker like wrapped around and attached to it. I had to tear it off because I decided to wear this watch on its original strap, which is unique for me since I'm just going to use it as a weekender. But yeah, we're about 37 minutes in. I'm going to end this video now. I'll be shocked if anybody on earth watches me for 37 minutes. It's like a full episode of a TV sitcom. But God bless you if you do. And if you do, leave me a comment. All the videos I posted so far, I've got about 5 people that watch me, subscribed. I never ask for anyone to subscribe. You know what to do if you want to see more of my content. But yeah, leave me a comment down below. I'll get back to you because you'll be the first person that's ever commented on a video. And I'm signing out. I'm done for the night. Now that I've posted this upside down picture of my Seiko Laurel. Have a great night. Excelsior Trading, Don Carlo and the Berkshires signing out. Have a great night.